Hello everybody, it's been a while. But I hadn't died or been grievously wounded or anything. I was, didn't really have much to talk about and couldn't be asked to get myself up early enough to come down here to make a video. But today I thought, I think it's about time now. I've been hankering to have another one of my cigars. I mean, there's one left after that. I've kept them for a bit too long, and if I leave it much longer, they'll start going stale. But yeah, there isn't exactly a theme for this video. It's just sort of things that have been going on since I last made a video. With regards to the employment support allowance claim, I'm still getting paid. I've not received any communication from them since I sent in the documents after I got back from my holiday. It's now well past the 3 months that my doctor signed me off for. But like I said, they're still paying me, so I really don't know what's gonna happen. Like I said before, they're supposed to categorise me into one of two groups, and then depending on which group I'm in, it will mean what happens from there. Now, because I was only signed off for 3 months, and the 3 months has come and gone, then they might turn around and say, we've paid you too much money, you're going to have to pay some of it back, which might be a bit of a problem. Or they might just keep paying me and paying me and paying me and paying me and never stop, which would be nice. But anyway, still waiting on that. My jury service doesn't start until next Monday. Today's Tuesday, I think. Tuesday, or is it Wednesday? Maybe it's Wednesday, I'm not sure, but as far as I know, my jury service starts on Monday. It is ridiculously hot here right now. Last night it was 28 degrees, and when I got in the car to drive back to the supermarket and then come here, it was 34 degrees centigrade, which is in the low 90s Fahrenheit. So yes, it is pretty hot right now. I'm having to sleep without a quilt on, and of course the heat's making my insomnia even worse. Just lying in bed sweating, trying to move my legs about so that they're not sitting in the same slightly damp spot on the mattress from my sweat and all of that. It's not pleasant this time of year, really. There's pretty much every year there's like 2 or 3 weeks where it's unbearably hot, and then it stops. But yeah, we're starting to get into that now. Last Thursday, I went up to London to see a revival stage show of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Now, my American viewers will probably know what that is. Because it's very popular over there, and it's been going for quite a long time, but it originally started on, from what Clive Anderson said while we were there, it started on BBC Radio 4 in the late 70s, early 80s, possibly, because he didn't specify the time, but I know when the television show started, so it was before that. And then when Channel 4 launched in 1982, Whose Line Is It Anyway was their top comedy show. And basically, for those that don't know, it's an improvisation show. Clive Anderson hosted it. In America, Drew Carey hosted it, and now now a black woman hosts it. I don't know her name. And the host will ask for suggestions from the audience for things, like scenes or, scenarios, people, jobs, etc. And, he'll pick 2 or 3 or all of the the cast members and say, right, you have to come up with a scenario regarding this, and use a bit of melodrama through it. Sometimes it's just, you have to sing a song. Sometimes it's particularly ridiculous stuff. I remember one scene on it when the woman Josie, she had to sing about bad breath. And this is all completely off the cuff. They had no rehearsals. They just have to, improvise it all. Hence why it's called improvisational comedy. And sometimes they get it that they screw up and they're like they don't know what to do. There's also other quick fire rounds, like one of the ones that they had was someone you wouldn't want to be Prime Minister, and they have to come up with, ridiculous examples of people who you really would not want in 10 Downing Street, and if they can't come up with it within, 5 seconds or something, they get buzzed out. There are points involved, but they're so arbitrarily given that they're kind of pointless points. That was pretty amazing. I'd been watching it for years, reruns of the original one with Clive Anderson in the 90s, and then watching the American one with Drew Carey as well. So, that was really cool. And they'd actually gotten, the original cast, where, Clive Anderson, who was the original British host, Colin Mockery, who went over to do the American one and is still doing it. Josie, I forget her last name, who was with the original British one and did some episodes on the American one. And then there was another guy who did American, who was currently on the American series. And there was another American. I can't remember his name, but he was part of the original lineup in Britain. And then because he was American, they hired him to do the American version of the show as well. So yeah, that was all good fun. Before that, we had a bit of a walk around. Went to see my great aunt. There's a bit of a story with her. It's my grandfather, my paternal grandfather's sister. When he was a child, his mother left his father and took her 2 daughters to London, leaving my granddad with his father, and he hadn't seen or heard from her in decades, but he, starts looking for her and is able to find her, and he gets in touch, and they start, talking to each other, visiting each other and whatnot. So, we went to her house. She's very eccentric, even though it was ridiculously hot and we were all sweating, she came out in a raincoat. She's always wearing a raincoat. I'm guessing she doesn't feel the heat like everybody else does. Yeah, she lives in a really nice Victorian townhouse in Battersea, near the old power station. It's quite close to Battersea Park. And yeah, the house is a big 3-storey Victorian thing. It's got a few structural problems because it was bombed in the war. It wasn't properly put right. So there's a big crack at the top of the stairs on the first floor, which has been made worse since the house next door was gutted and made the structural integrity of that wall even worse. She's incredibly eccentric. She bought the house so that she could care, so that she and her elderly mother could live there. Because at the time, her mother was living, she'd been living in another house across multiple floors. She'd also developed dementia and was unable to care for herself, so she went to auction and bought the house that she lives in now, and with the intention of converting the ground floor into accommodation for her mother. She had the front 2 rooms. They had medical equipment and stuff put in there. Special chairs, a bed, a sink and whatnot put in, so that when she had nursing staff in, when she wasn't able to help her, they could, wash her properly and everything. But her mother went into hospital with an infection, and she'd been in there for a few days. She rang up the hospital on the Saturday and asked, how's my mother doing? She said, all right, and the doctor said, all right, she's all right. We're going to keep her in for one more day, and she'll be home on Monday. Unfortunately, she died on Sunday night, and that really hit my great aunt pretty hard. She's still got all the funeral stuff in the front room, the wreaths and the wine glasses from the little ceremony. That she hasn't touched the room at all. And she didn't really want to do anything else with her life after that, because she'd been with her mother for most of her life and everything. And she's kind of very reclusive now. She's become a hoarder, so most of the rooms are filled with junk, and she lives in what would have originally been the kitchen but isn't the kitchen anymore. She's got this tiny little grill thing and a microwave and whatnot for cooking food, and she sleeps in the chair in the kitchen because she doesn't want to look after herself anymore, and all that. So besides the the junk and the damage to the wall, the rest of the house is immaculate, considering that it hasn't been touched in years. You go up into. She took us on a tour of the house, and it had been the first time that my parents had seen the rest of it as well. And these rooms, she decorated them when she bought the house. She brought furniture in preparation for her living there, but she never used any of it. So, there's furniture from the 1980s in there that's, not been used. And I actually found an almost full pack of cigarettes from the 1980s in one of the bedrooms. That's how long it's been since she's used those rooms. And yeah, I mean, she hasn't exactly had a bit of an easy. She had a boyfriend in the 60s and the 70s. They were planning on getting married, but he died before they could. They lived in the house together, and the first year that women were allowed to be put on the deeds of houses and officially own property, he went down to the solicitors and got her name put on the deeds of the house that they were sharing along with his, so that she would own the house as well in case anything happened to him. And it was lucky he did, because she wouldn't have been able to inherit the house otherwise. And so after he died, she sold the house and moved in with her mother. You know, that was in the 70s. So yeah, pretty much everybody she's cared about in life has died, so it's no wonder she's a little bit weird. But yeah, the house is beautiful. And there's at least 2 bedrooms on both of the upper floors. They're big bedrooms. They've got lots of lighting because of the big windows and everything. No, it's your typical, London townhouse, really. Narrow corridors, a staircase that goes up. It just goes up and up and up to the top. The kind of house that I would like to live in. Nice tall ceilings and so on. Needs a lot of work doing to it though. Yeah, and we get to the top of the stairs and go into the last bedroom, open the door and have a look around. And there's a dead squirrel lying in the middle of the floor. It hasn't been there long because, it hadn't been decomposing. But, my dad was looking around to see if there was a hole where it could have gotten in. And there had been a hole chewed inside of a board that had been put in front of the fireplace. So he reckoned that the squirrel had fallen down the chimney, been unable to get up and out the chimney, so it had gnawed its way into the bedroom and been unable to get out of the bedroom, and it had succumbed to starvation. A lot of the furniture had been gnawed where it was trying to eat something, and yeah, it wasn't great. She wanted us to take a photo of it so that there would be a record. Just a squirrel. Yeah. And some of the stuff in there that she's got is quite interesting. I mean, if there's lots of buried stuff. There's stuff that she's bought and never used. There's a 1970s or 60s or 70s typewriter that's hardly been used that belonged to her mother. It's in mint condition. It's got the the original documentation with it and whatnot. My brother looked it up on eBay and it was worth about 80 quid. She's got old handbags, old clothes, old electricals, like kettles and heaters, and she had some old televisions as well, but I think my uncle disposed of them because they were useless now that we've had the digital switch over and there's no analog terrestrial television being broadcast, so you wouldn't be able to do anything with them. Yeah. I mean, the rooms aren't full. I mean, from what my parents have said, I was expecting it to be a lot worse, but there's still a lot. It'll probably take days to go through it all to find if there was anything worth keeping, and even more time to dispose of it. Yeah. No, she's a nice enough woman. One of the things she does is she likes to write diaries, though not in diaries. One of the first times my parents went to meet her in London, she pulled out a cereal box that had been torn open and turned inside out, and she started writing on the back of the cereal box for stuff that she'd done that day. That's one of her many eccentricities. I mean, she's a nice enough woman. She's, friendly and, chatty and all of that. Just a bit odd. What else has been going on? I went to see Jurassic World last week. It wasn't the nostalgia fest I was expecting. I only got, the familiar warm fuzzies from a few of the scenes, but it was still it was still a decent film. I just prefer the first two. I might get it on Blu-ray at some point, or just download it or whatever. It's nice to see, the park working as it was intended to. But as Michael Crichton, the original author of Jurassic Park, said in another one of his books, some damn thing always goes wrong. So yeah. Yeah, Ian Malcolm is always right. It's frustrating. And to start with, it's all, ooh, ah, then come the running and the screaming. And Jurassic Park is somewhere that I wouldn't mind working, As the technical guy, like Dennis Nedry was in the first movie, and, not Dennis Nedry. Arnold, the guy that Samuel L. Jackson played, and the guy in the new movie, I don't know his name, but he had like all the dinosaur models and the old Jurassic Park t-shirt. Yeah, that'd definitely be something that would be fun to do. Next month, 3 days before my birthday, I'm going to go to the Korean Culture Festival in London because I'm quite into K-pop. And one of my favourite, well actually probably, I would say that they are my favourite group by sheer volume of tracks that I like. They're performing a free concert in Trafalgar Square. So, yeah. Definitely going to be something exciting for me next month. A nice birthday present to see my favourite K-pop group in the flesh. White chocolate buttons. I love them. I don't know if it's exactly chocolate weather, but fuck it. These cigars take forever to smoke. I probably only smoked about that much of it. I feel like the thing here, so what about that comparison? Yeah, I was right, I've only smoked a couple of 3 inches or so. What's this? Oh God. The jelly from my pork pie has melted. Ugh. Oh, it stinks. Ugh. How fucking wonderful. I hate hot weather. That's just great. Hopefully my car doesn't stink after this. Anyway, got anything else to talk about? No, I don't think so. So I think I'll leave it here. I've been talking for just under half an hour, so yeah, I think that's enough. Anyway. There you go.